everybody, today I would like to talk to you guys a little bit about the trucking industry. I have a couple of documents that I would like to talk to you guys about here and just give my opinions about them, so let's go and get into things here. Okay, so the first story that I would like to talk to you guys about, and this has been something that has been going around for quite a few months now. It's kind of been a big thing in the trucking industry, and that is truck speed limiters. Now, I came across this document. I have not read a lot of it, but it says truck speed limiters are not likely to gain traction. And honestly, I think this is for the best. Every truck driver out there knows that this is bad. This will not help for safety. This really doesn't make any sense, and this has been getting, beyond negativity from, just about every truck driver out there. So I'm very happy this is kind of, not being pushed through. I've heard, from, other sources about, drivers putting a petition to try to stop this bill from happening. And, 100%, this is not the way to go when trying to, have safety or stuff like that. In fact, this is going to make things worse if this went into effect. We already have, traffic congestion with the truck speeds that there are now, especially with company trucks. But, to have this for all trucks, it's just going to make things worse. You're going to have impatient drivers that are going to want to get around these slow trucks. They already do. And they're going to cause accidents. They're not very safe. And, it's just going to make things way worse. So, I 100% disagree with this, and I'm very happy that this is not being put into effect here. It says it's not like they gain traction, but who knows? But I've also heard that, this has been something that the FMCSA has been trying to put into effect for many years now, and almost ends up at the same thing, where it doesn't happen. So, only time will tell, but hopefully this does not get put into effect here. Okay, so moving on to our next story here. This is from a California law that was planned on being put into effect when it comes to independent contractor, what pretty much was called California's AB5 independent contractor law. And unfortunately, I get where they're trying to go with this. It is very understandable when it comes to independent contractors, when it comes to lease operators. You have, companies that have really bad contracts when it comes to independent contractors, kind of brainwash people out there, brainwash drivers and thinking, oh, you can make a lot more money, you can own your truck. But, it don't none of that thing really even happens. You end up losing a lot of money. You're never really going to own the truck. And you're pretty much, removing all that burden from the company. So a lot of these are very, very bad deals. A lot of these you can't get out of them very easily. You can't sue the company for it. I seen where it says in the contract, like, this has came from Prime, and this is just, it's not good. And I get what they're trying to do with this, but unfortunately, it's going to hurt the owner operators as well. And they have, decided to reject this, put in an injunction, and unfortunately, this would not be in fact. But I get, kind of where they want to take this, and it's very understandable. And hopefully, we can get a more simpler law like this that doesn't really affect the owner operators. And, this was probably going to be basically, from what I've read, it's going to be, independent contractors, the companies were saying, oh, independent contractors are not employees, but they actually are. But they don't want to admit that. So, that has become a very big issue. And I think, California's kind of going on the right direction for once, but I think it just needs to be ironed out a little bit more before, this is something that, anyone could really agree on. You know, because as I've read here, California's 70,000 owner operators who have 7 days to cease long-standing independent businesses, and that's just not good. Hopefully they can iron this out a little bit more, but I really do get where they're trying to go with this. Okay, so moving on to our next story here. This kind of interests me. I was going through the news here, and I saw bill that aims to repeal entry-level trading rule. And on some of this, it makes sense. Some of it does not. This sounds like it's really coming from the mega carriers because, you know, mega carriers want to get any guy in a truck as fast as they can without with the lowest income possible or the lowest financial burden possible. So, you know, I kind of get kind of where this is going, and this was kind of mentioned on the lines of, you know, wanting to kind of remove this requirement for, you know, moving on to different stuff. For example, and I've had experience with this as well. Is wanting to become a school bus driver. Want to become a school bus driver, you have to do everything all over again. And that really doesn't make any sense. In my opinion, you should only really have to do the things that you have not done before or haven't had the chance to do, you know, in that sort of vehicle. So like I said, to become a school bus driver, be able to safely, you know, pick up and drop off kids. You know, that's a very big thing that can be very dangerous. You got to really understand how to safely do it, and you know, but to try to having to do a pre-trip and all this stuff, doing backing, that really doesn't make any sense because, you know, if you drive a semi truck and have a Class A CDL, you know, you kind of already do this stuff anyway. So, you know, what's the point? So, well, I think, you know, this has a way to go, but to remove it altogether, especially what they're saying, try to move it from, you know, new CDL drivers, you know, that's really not a good idea. You know, you already have bad drivers from the begin with causing accidents. You guys have seen the Swift videos, I know. You know, and it's not a good thing. In fact, I think this, you know, when it comes to new drivers specifically, to, you know, have, you know, more requirements, more, you know, rules to be put in place to where, you know, it's a little bit more stricter because when I went for my training, I'll be honest with you, I was not quite ready for it. I kind of messed up really bad on my driving test. I got really nervous, and you know, I did some stupid moves that you know I would never really do. But you know, trying to get your CDL and stuff like that, you're gonna be nervous. So you know, this is kind of you know, unfortunately, what happened with me, and I really shouldn't have passed, but you know, fortunately, I was with my trainer at the time that actually trained me how to drive a truck. You know, I was with me there pretty much every day, and he knew that I could drive better, so you know, he would have had to pass me. But you know, yet again, he probably shouldn't have. You know, I probably deserved a fail and had to redo everything all over again. But you know, that's just you know how you know unfortunate things are. So, you know, I really do kind of get where this is going, but you know, some of this, like I said, makes sense and don't make sense. But you know, I think you know, like I said, some of these, you know, I doubt will ever go through, like the speed limiters and stuff like that. You know, a lot of other bills that we've been talking about, you know, it just needs iron out a little bit. But you know, I just thought these stories was very interesting. Kind of giving my opinions on about them. You know, if you guys want to see more like this, you know, get my opinions about stuff, let me know. When it comes to you know me personally going back in the truck industry, I haven't really made that decision yet. I'm kind of waiting to see you know how things ironed out with the move and stuff like that. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.